The fluorescent lights of the grocery store cast everything in harsh white as Lily Martinez stood in the baby formula aisle, her 9-month-old daughter, Emma, whimpering softly against her chest. She had been staring at the cans of formula for 10 minutes now, mentally calculating and recalculating, trying to make the numbers work. They didn't work. She had $17 in her pocket, the last of what she'd earned from 2 days of standing on street corners with a cardboard sign. The cheapest formula was $23. Emma needed to eat. The decision shouldn't have been this hard, but Lily had never stolen anything in her life until tonight. Her hands shook as she reached for a can, tucking it quickly into the worn canvas bag she carried. She told herself she would pay them back someday, when things were better, when she had a job again, when her life wasn't a series of desperate choices made in grocery store aisles at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. She was 3 steps away from the aisle when a hand landed gently on her shoulder. "Excuse me, ma'am." Lily's heart stopped. She turned slowly to see a man in a gray suit standing behind her. He was tall, probably in his mid-30s, with dark hair and eyes that looked concerned rather than accusing. But he had clearly seen what she'd done. "I'm sorry," Lily said immediately, pulling the formula from her bag with trembling hands. "I'm so sorry. I'll put it back. Please don't call the police. I have a baby." She stopped mid-sentence, really looking at his face for the first time. There was something familiar about him, something that cut through the panic and exhaustion clouding her mind. "Lily," the man said, his expression shifting from concern to shock. "Lily Martinez. I'm sorry. Do I know you?" But even as she said it, memory was crystallizing. The eyes, the voice, something about the way he stood. Thomas Chen. "It's me." "Oh my God, Lily, what happened to you?" Thomas Chen. She had known him 7 years ago when they were both students at the community college. He had been struggling in his business courses, on the verge of dropping out. And Lily, who had a natural aptitude for numbers and organization, had tutored him for free. She'd helped him pass his classes, helped him apply for scholarships, helped him transfer to a 4-year university. They'd lost touch after he transferred, the way people do. She had finished her degree in accounting while working full-time at a bank, had gotten married, had Emma, and then her life had fallen apart in ways she could never have anticipated. "It's a long story," Lily said, unable to meet his eyes. Emma was crying harder now, that desperate hunger cry that tore at Lily's heart. "I'm sorry you had to see this. I'll just go. Wait. Please, just wait." Thomas looked around the aisle, then back at Lily and Emma. "You are trying to steal formula because you can't afford it. I have $17. The formula costs $23. Emma hasn't eaten properly in 2 days because I ran out. This isn't who I am. I just don't know what else to do." Thomas picked up 2 cans of formula from the shelf, then grabbed a basket and started adding other items: baby food, diapers, wipes. "Come with me. We're going to check out properly, and then we're going to talk." "I can't let you, Lily. You helped me when I had nothing, when I was about to give up on everything. You spent hours tutoring me. You encouraged me. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Let me help you now, please." At the checkout, Thomas paid for everything over $200 worth of baby supplies. Then he led Lily to the small cafe attached to the grocery store and ordered her a sandwich and coffee, while Emma drank a bottle of formula with desperate enthusiasm. "Tell me what happened," Thomas said gently. So Lily told him about her marriage to a man who had seemed perfect until he wasn't, who had become controlling and then abusive, about finally leaving when she was 6 months pregnant because she couldn't raise a daughter in that environment, about losing her job at the bank because the hours weren't compatible with being a single mother with no child care, about her savings running out, about being evicted, about living in her car until it broke down and was towed. "I've been staying in shelters when we can get a spot," Lily said, unable to stop the tears now. "But they're always full, and some of them aren't safe. Last week, someone tried to take Emma while I was sleeping. So now I stay awake all night when we're in shelters, which means I'm too exhausted to look for work effectively during the day. It's a cycle I can't break out of. Where's Emma's father? Somewhere in another state with his new girlfriend. He sends $50 a month when he remembers, which is almost never. I tried to pursue child support legally, but I can't afford a lawyer and I don't have a permanent address for the paperwork. Thomas was quiet for a long moment, his jaw tight. Do you have somewhere to stay tonight? I was going to try the shelter on Maple Street. If they're full, there's a church that lets people sleep in the vestibule sometimes. No, you're not sleeping in a church vestibule with a baby. I have an apartment, small, but it has a spare bedroom. You and Emma can stay there tonight. We'll figure out something more permanent tomorrow. Kay says, you can't. Yes, you can. Lily, 7 years ago, you gave me hours of your time, your knowledge, your encouragement. You asked for nothing in return. You helped me pass classes that let me get scholarships, that let me finish my degree. You changed the trajectory of my entire life. Let me do the same for you. What do you do now? For work, I mean. Thomas smiled slightly. I took your advice about business. I started a company software development for small businesses. It's done well. Really well, actually. I'm the CEO. We went public last year. Lily stared at him. The shy, struggling student she tutored in the community college library was now a CEO of a publicly traded company. It seemed impossible. It's been successful because you helped me believe I could be. Let me help you believe the same thing about yourself. Lily stayed in Thomas's spare bedroom that night, and Emma slept in a pack and play he ordered for delivery within hours. For the first time in months, Lily slept soundly, knowing her daughter was safe and warm and fed. The next morning, over breakfast, Thomas laid out a plan. I have a proposition. My company needs an accounting manager, someone to oversee our financial operations, manage a team, work with our CFO. It's a real job with a real salary, $90,000 a year plus benefits. I'd like to offer it to you, Camus. I can't just take a job because you feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for you. I respect you. And I'm not offering you this job out of pity. I'm offering it because you have the skills we need and because I know your character. You're smart, organized, honest, and hardworking. Those are qualities I value in my employees. But I haven't worked in accounting in over a year, so you'll have a learning curve. We all do. Lily, I'm not expecting perfection. I'm offering you an opportunity. What you do with it is up to you. Lily felt tears threatening again. What about Emma? I can't afford daycare on any salary until I've saved up. My company has on-site childcare. It's part of our benefits package. Emma would be downstairs while you work. You could visit her on breaks. It was too much. Too good to be true. Lily waited for the catch, for the condition, for the moment when Thomas would explain what he expected in return for all this generosity. But it didn't come. Why are you doing this? She asked finally. Because you did it for me first. Because helping each other is what we're supposed to do. Because I have the resources to make a real difference in your life, and it would be wrong not to use them. Thomas paused, and because seeing you trying to steal formula to feed your baby broke my heart. Nobody should be in that position, especially not someone as capable and kind as you. Lily accepted the job. She threw herself into the work with the desperate determination of someone who had been drowning and was now gasping for air. She studied at night after Emma went to sleep, relearning accounting principles and learning new software systems. She arrived early and stayed late, proving herself to colleagues who didn't know about her connection to the CEO. Within 6 months, she was excelling. Her attention to detail caught several errors in the company's financial systems, saving them significant money. Her organizational skills streamlined processes that had been inefficient for years. Her management style, compassionate, but from earned respect from her team. "You're one of my best hires," Thomas told her during her 6-month review. "I knew you would be, but you've exceeded even my expectations. Thank you for giving me the chance. Thank you for not giving up." A lot of people in your situation would have. Lily had moved into her own apartment by then, a modest but clean 2-bedroom in a safe neighborhood near the office. Emma was thriving in the company daycare, forming friendships with other children, and hitting all her developmental milestones. Lily's life was finally stable, finally manageable, finally her own. But something else was happening too. Working closely with Thomas day after day, Lily found herself noticing things about him. The way he treated every employee with respect, regardless of their position. The way he remembered people's names and asked about their families. The way he made decisions with both strategic intelligence and genuine compassion. "You've become quite the leader," Lily told him one evening when they were working late on a project. Emma was asleep in the daycare center under the supervision of the evening staff. "I learned from the best. You showed me what real leadership looks like when you helped me all those years ago. You didn't just teach me accounting principles. You taught me that helping others succeed is the most important thing we can do. I was just tutoring you. I didn't think of it as leadership." That's because real leadership often doesn't recognize itself. You saw someone struggling and you helped without expecting anything in return. That's what I try to do now with my company and in my life. They looked at each other across the conference table, and something shifted in the air between them. It had been building for months, the growing awareness, the lingering glances, the conversations that went beyond professional necessity. "Lily," Thomas said carefully, "I need to tell you something. And if it makes you uncomfortable, or if you'd rather I didn't say it, I completely understand. But I'm not good at pretending, and I think you deserve honesty." "What is it?" "I have feelings for you. Beyond friendship, beyond gratitude, beyond professional respect. I've been trying to ignore them because you work for me, and because I don't want you to feel pressured or uncomfortable. But they're not going away, and I'm tired of pretending they don't exist." Lily's heart was racing. "Thomas, if you don't feel the same way, that's completely fine. Your job is secure regardless. I would never punish you professionally for not returning my feelings. But if there's any chance you might feel the same way, I'd like to explore this. Carefully, appropriately, with full respect for the professional boundaries. What do you think?" "I think I've been half in love with you since you stopped me from stealing that formula and didn't call the police. I think I've been trying not to admit it because you're my boss and because you've already given me so much that wanting more feels greedy. But Thomas, I do feel the same way." They dated carefully at first, maintaining strict professional boundaries at work. Lily continued to excel in her position on her own merits, earning promotions based on performance rather than her relationship with Thomas. Thomas was careful never to give her special treatment, and Lily was careful never to expect it. But outside of work, their relationship flourished. Thomas fell in love, not just with Lily, but with Emma, who called him Tommy and demanded he read her bedtime stories when he came over. He attended her first birthday party, her second, learned to change diapers and warm bottles, and all the small skills of caring for a toddler. "You're good at this," Lily told him one night when he'd successfully gotten an overtired Emma to sleep. "The dad stuff. I never thought much about being a parent before. But with Emma, it just feels right. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Would you want kids of your own someday?" "I think Emma already feels like mine, if I'm being honest. But yes, I'd love to have more children with you, if that's something you want." They married on the anniversary of the night they'd reunited in the grocery store. The ceremony was small, held in the same community college library where Lily had tutored Thomas all those years ago. Emma served as flower girl, scattering petals with more enthusiasm than accuracy in his vows. Thomas spoke about full circles and second chances. 7 years ago, a kind woman saw a struggling student and decided to help. She tutored me, encouraged me, believed in me when I'd stopped believing in myself. She changed my life without expecting anything in return. 7 years later, I saw that same woman in a desperate moment, and I had the privilege of helping her in return. Lily, you taught me that success means nothing if we don't use it to lift others up. You showed me that real strength is helping people even when you're struggling yourself. Thank you for saving me twice, once in that library, and once by letting me be part of your life and Emma's life. Lily's vows were equally moving. I helped you in that library because I saw potential in you that you couldn't see in yourself. But Thomas, you did the same for me that night in the grocery store. I was at my absolute lowest, convinced I was a failure as a mother and a person. You saw past the desperate woman trying to steal formula and recognized the person I used to be, the person I could be again. You gave me opportunity, but more importantly, you gave me belief in myself. You loved Emma before you loved me, which told me everything I needed to know about your heart. Years later, the Chen family, Thomas, Lily, Emma, and eventually 2 more children would drive past that grocery store and tell the story of how their family began. Mommy was trying to feed baby Emma, the younger children would say, having heard this story countless times, and Daddy stopped her and helped instead of being mean. That's right, Lily would confirm. Daddy saw someone who needed help, and he chose compassion over judgment. That's what changed everything. Emma, now a teenager, would add her own perspective. Mom helped Dad when they were young, okay? And then Dad helped Mom when I was young. They saved each other. It was true. They had saved each other. Not through grand gestures, but through the simple act of seeing someone's humanity and responding with kindness. Lily had seen potential in a struggling student. Thomas had seen dignity in a desperate mother. Both of them had chosen to help without expecting anything in return. That grocery store moment, which could have ended with arrest, shame, and further desperation, had instead become the beginning of healing, opportunity, and love. All because someone had remembered the kindness received and chosen to return it when it mattered most. Sometimes the people we help in small ways come back into our lives in big ways. Sometimes the kindness we show returns to us when we need it most desperately. And sometimes the worst moment of our lives becomes the doorway to everything we never dared hope for. Lily had tried to steal formula because she saw no other way to feed her child. Thomas had stopped her, not to punish, but to help, recognizing the woman who had once helped him. From that moment of crisis and recognition, a family was born, built not on rescue or debt, but on mutual respect, returned kindness, and the recognition that we all need help sometimes, and we can all offer it sometimes. And the difference between the two is often just a matter of timing. If this story reminded you that the kindness we show to others often finds its way back to us, and that our worst moments can become doorways to our greatest blessings, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in helping others without expecting returns, and subscribe to our channel for more stories about compassion, second chances, and the power of seeing people's full humanity. Leave a comment below about a time when kindness you showed came back to you, or when someone helped you in your darkest moment. Your stories remind us all that we're connected in ways we don't always see, and that choosing compassion over judgment can change lives in profound ways.